to the franchise mythos. Nyong'o's chemistry with a scene-stealing tuxedo cat named Frodo supplies a wordless counter-melody of tenderness that somehow makes every alien screech feel 50 decibels louder. Financiers handed Sarnowski a reported $67 million war chest, nearly quadruple the budget of the 2018 original, and every cent is visible on screen, from the eerily depopulated Brooklyn Bridge mat extensions to the flooded subway tunnels where flashlights slice through murk like scalpels. Yet the money never feels flashy, rather, it underwrites a realism so tactile you can practically feel the grit under Nyong'o's fingernails. Audiences rewarded that investment with a worldwide gross north of $261 million, making it the highest-earning horror release of 2024 and reminding a jittery post-pandemic industry that originalist horror still draws crowds when the craft is undeniable. Even 9 months later, pundits still point to its legs, the way it slipped quietly past bigger-budget tentpoles in week 3, as proof that suspense sells longer than spectacle alone. Peer recognition followed. The British Film Designers Guild honored production designer Nick Dent and set decorator Neil Floyd with their top prize for contemporary design, praising how war-zone rubble coexisted with surgical ward stillness. Critics groups from Los Angeles to London placed Nyong'o on their early ballot shortlist for Best Actress, and some handicappers are already whispering Oscar possibilities, a rarity for a third entry in any horror franchise. Pull back the curtain, and you'll discover a shoot that spanned February to April 2023, primarily at Warner Brothers Studios' Leeds Den outside London, where entire New York City blocks were built, dirted, then strafed with deafening silence. Exterior pickups on the Thames double for East River vistas, and a partially derelict tube station in South London became that unforgettable flooded tunnel sequence. Yet the road production was anything but smooth. Back in 2020, Paramount tapped Jeff Nichols to steer the spinoff. By October 2021, he'd walked away, candidly admitting later that he wasn't the right fit. Paramount restarted from scratch, bringing in Sarnowski and effectively handing him the keys to Krasinski's kingdom. That midstream handoff sparked weeks of online debate. Fans fretting the series might lose its soul, but it ultimately freed the film to pursue a grittier, ground-level perspective. Sarnowski's first call after locking the script was to cinematographer Pat Scola. Together they binge Alfonso Cuarón's Children of Men, studying how long takes and handheld urgency could make a sprawling crisis feel violently personal. You'll recognize that influence in the 6-minute oneer that tracks Nyong'o from a hospice room onto a screaming street where the sky rains fire and shards of glass. For the score, the filmmakers turned to Greek composer Alexis Grapsis, who wove a tapestry of barely audible heartbeats, distant subway rumbles, and cello harmonics just above the threshold of a whisper. Music you feel more than hear. On Spotify and Apple Music, the soundtrack plays like a seance, moments of near silence that suddenly erupt into metallic shrieks, then retreat, daring your own breathing to break tempo. Perhaps the film's most unexpected icon is Frodo the cat. Early drafts featured a dog, but Sarnowski realized the feline's innate silence could literalize the mortal stakes. Trainers rehearsed Nyong'o and the cat for weeks, so she could cradle him one-handed while signing frantic ASL directions with the other. No CGI double was used. The fur-raising tension of that cross-bridge escape owes everything to a real animal refusing to meow as pyro mortars boom in the background. Critics responded with 5-star raves, calling the opening hospice scene as emotionally shattering as the first 10 minutes of Up, and praising Sarnowski's nimble blend of war movie chaos with chamber piece intimacy. Even the famously hard-to-impress Times of London declared the Beasties back and better than ever and singled out Nyong'o's performance as awards caliber. If you miss a theatrical run, don't worry. Paramount Plus added a film to its library this spring, where it promptly spiked the platform's #1 slot in under 48 hours, surpassing big studio comedies and superhero fare alike. In an era of streaming overload, viewers still clicked on a story that asked them to lean forward, lower the volume, and hold their nerd a course. No phenomenon arrives without dissent. Reddit threads lit up with skeptics nitpicking alien biology. How could creatures so sensitive to sound ignore the racket of New York's feral pigeons? While others grumbled that the film's plot felt thin compared to its predecessors. Yet those very debates prove the franchise's cultural foothold. People care enough to argue because Sarnowski's vision burrowed under their skin. What truly sets Day One apart is its decision to shoulder the weight of grief. Where Krasinski's first two films focus on